to. So there's all kinds of medications that is allowed that will not put a player into the category of doping is also purchased. So we spend on medical. Then, of course, sometimes facilities that you use for training, you pay, unless we are in Ghana here. If you go to any other country, the pitch you use for training is not for free, we pay. Then we have bonuses, the almighty bonus payment for winnings. We also spend on that. If we are hosting, if we are the host country, like we're going to do against Mali or like we did against Chad, we also have some other expenses to incur. Per the CAF rules and the rest and World Cup qualifier, you, the host, you are responsible for the flight tickets of the officials who are coming to officiate the game. So you have to also buy the tickets of these officials. You are responsible for their accommodation. You are responsible for their ground transport. You are responsible for what they describe as their indemnity. These are things that are responsibility of the home team or the home country. So we are responsible for all these. Then, of course, we are also responsible for the visiting team transport. You are supposed to provide them a bus and then also a mini, a four-wheel drive and a saloon, so as their officials can also use that once the team use the bus. You are responsible for all these. So these are the areas that we spend money on. Like I said, the team is going to Chad for their seventh game. What it means is that they have played 6 already. 4 were honored before 2025, and 2 were honored this year, and the remaining 4 will also be honored this year. So by October, we will be done with all the 10 qualifying games that we are supposed to play. What used to be the case before His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took over was that the estimates that came generally just got approved without any further checks or cuts. But that has since not been the case. And so for those of you who are interested, you would observe that the estimates are submitted by the FA for March day 1, day 2, day 3, and 4 were exactly what was captured as what has been approved and therefore should be released for expenditure as indicated in the estimate. But this has not been the case since March day 5. We have reviewed the submissions and we have taken off some items. And some of these items were not unilaterally taken off. Yes, it was a proposal from us, but there was consensus at the end of the day that this is the best way to go. For example, we thought that it was not appropriate to pay winning bonuses to management team members. Because if you are a management team member, your duty is to ultimately qualify, supervise the team, manage the team in such a way that the team will qualify for, say, if it is African Cup or World Cup. If for every game won, we are going to be paying you bonus, what if we did not win enough games to qualify for the tournament that we are supposed to go, and therefore we don't get anything? Like, take example, Ghana played some qualifying matches for the African Cup of Nations that will be hosted by Morocco. We won a few and we lost a number, and so we didn't qualify. Per the previous arrangement, management team members will be paid winning bonuses. But at the end of the day, the team didn't qualify to go for African Cup of Nations at all. So they are not even benefiting from anything that will come for participation because we didn't qualify to participate. But those you put in charge to manage would have received some money. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama thinks otherwise. That no, supervise, you will be given your per diem, but you will not be paid any winning bonus. Manage the team, supervise the team, let the team qualify for the tournament. And when it does, you will be rewarded appropriately. So the management, the 6-7 management team members are no longer part of those who take the winning bonus. That is completely off the budget line now. The coach or the coaches and the technical team members, including the physician, the physiotherapists, the physical trainers, the masseur, the kids officers, video analysts, all those persons are also paid winning bonuses, but they are all paid half of what has been agreed for the qualifiers. We agreed that we give them half. You will not be paid full. When we ultimately qualifies, the remaining 50% can then be given you. If we don't, you forfeit the remaining 50%. The interest and other items have also been drastically reduced. We no longer are paying interest as requested, but we looked at it and find a way of reducing it. Indeed, at a certain point, there was even an offer to, where possible, to use the military carrier to carry the national team to such an assignment. We only did not go for that option this time around because from here to Chad would have been okay for the CASA to make that journey. But we all are aware of the recent unfortunate incident. So we thought that we didn't want to opt for that option and let's still do the commercial aircraft that will be chartered for that purpose. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can take you through a few of the things. For example, Ghana versus Chad, which is the away game that will be played on the 4th September. The original estimates for that game was about $1,239,090. But after we went through it and took off what we thought must be taken off, this was reduced to $856,890 US dollars, meaning that per the arrangement that His Excellency have directed us to work with, a savings of 382,200 was realized in the way. This was done through either reduction of some of the items, line items, or completely taking some of them off because we think that we can meet them through other processes. March the 8th, for example, also had similar reduction, but I will check the figures and then let you have them. So, in all, we have worked to save the purse and have made sure that, let me give you the approved budget for item by item. Of course, the tickets for players and officials, we have a flat unit amount, but some of them will spend more. Others are likely to spend less. So there's a balancing process there. So for example, you would observe that for air tickets from base to Accra and back to base, the unit amount requested here is $6,000 per player or per official for the 28 persons who we normally would move, players and officials. Per the contract, we are responsible for the air tickets of the coaches also. So the coaches that we have who are not resident here and we have to move them, we also get tickets for them. And the unit amount there is 6,000 US dollars. But if you look at the details, you would observe that some spend more and others will spend less. Since assuming office as the minister responsible for sports and recreation, what I have come to realize is that the ultimate amount that ends up being presented as ticket cost have always been higher than what has been estimated as the cost of the ticket. And the ministry, in some instances, have had to look for other sources to be able to deal with this loophole or this gap. And that is where I say sometimes your goods and services supports what is released for as our budget. Accommodation for single rooms is $200, and also for a number of them. Usually for our players, we pay them. That's the spirit. That's how it has been. Indeed, in some time past, even including the captains were paired with other mates. They were not even alone. But this time, there's a practice where some 1 or 2, 3 senior players are given some treatment of a sort that they use single rooms, but that's what it is. There's accommodation in Chad. Before accommodation, daily meals for $80 for the entire day for the number of meals that they will have.